Hey guys, this is Tattoo Tony. Welcome to another adventure. This is the MacArthur Bridge connecting East St. Louis and St. Louis, Missouri. It opened in 1917 as the Municipal Free Bridge. What you're looking at is part of the old highway deck going into East St. Louis, and these are neighborhoods surrounding it. A lot of the buildings are knocked down and the lots are now empty. This is the deck going towards the railroad bridge. It was an on-ramp. This was a double-decker bridge. One deck carried railroad and the other one carried car traffic. And this is what's left of it today. You can see me and Andrew in the distance in that last shot walking. There's the arch in St. Louis. This footage was taken with my drone, flying off of the MacArthur Bridge, rather. So, it was originally the Municipal Bridge and was renamed in 1942 for the World War II General. For several years it carried Route 66, the main drag through the western half of the country, into Missouri and St. Louis. This bridge was built by the city of St. Louis. A bid to break the Eads Bridge's monopoly on road traffic crossing the river. This bridge was ready for service in 1912. There was a shortage of money, however, and the lengthy and necessary approach ramps were not completed for another 5 years. The bridge finally opened for rail traffic in 1928. But the major railroads, all members of the Terminal Railroad Association, would not use this bridge for another 20 years. In the early years of the Depression, there was a toll of 10 cents instituted. It did not do anything to curb this bridge's popularity. Along with all the traffic came a steady stream of accidents. Faster cars, faster driving speeds made it increasingly difficult to negotiate the sudden jogs where the car deck veers to join up with the trusses of the bridge. Enough cars crashed through the rails and plummeted 100 feet or more to the ground that a newspaper article dubbed the roadway Death's Diving Board. However, it was not danger that proved to be the roadway's undoing, but the coming of the interstate system. The massive Poplar Street Bridge opened in St. Louis in 1967 and immediately drew away nearly all of the MacArthur's car traffic. Soon the tolls were not even covering the toll takers' payroll. The aging car deck was also badly deteriorated after decades of traffic and weather. It was closed to cars in 1981, and the MacArthur has been a rail-only bridge ever since. I'll tell you a little personal experience. My father told me that before they tore the deck down, probably around when we first moved to the St. Louis area, he accidentally got on the closed bridge and drove. And I faintly remember it is in my dad's old crummy yellow $500 car. It was kind of a stressful situation. The MacArthur's enormous steel trusses and stone piers form a presence that is astonishing to stand beneath, the most powerful and awe-inspiring of the city's bridges. Though not graceful, it commands respect through its sheer size and height. It's equivalent to a 14-story building. It is the product of an age that believed in the promise of infinitely bigger and more powerful machines. Appropriately, lumbering freight trains still run regularly on its lower deck. The bridge seems strangely detached from the life of the city around it, even the space beneath it. One of the most humbling in the city is little more than a hobo camp and a fisherman's site at the south end of the arch grounds. Earlier on in this video, when we went to the end and you saw the graffiti on the concrete blocks, I showed like a tote that was kind of sitting flip sideways, and a few years ago when we were here in the summertime, that tote was actually locked with like a bicycle lock onto something, and it looked as if somebody might have been living on the end of the bridge in the summer, sleeping in the breeze, and had their belongings locked up. This overgrown area is near where you walk onto this on-ramp in East St. Louis. I had to cut the audio because of all the wind in this video. It was pretty distracting, but this part was kind of nice. There were birds chirping. It was also freezing cold. We couldn't feel our hands when we got back in the car. You can't really tell in the footage, but there was ice forming on the ground. Of course, there's got to be a bottle of cognac and some beer. This is where the approach is level with the ground. There's the deck going towards the railroad bridge. It used to be double-decker. You can see downtown. There's some ice forming. I hope you enjoy the photographs. If you made it this far in this video, please like, subscribe, share. I think you'll enjoy the channel. Also go over to Old and Fat Exploration and subscribe. Make sure you turn the notification bell on. I put up videos quite frequently, and you'll want to make sure you don't miss any of them. We film all kinds of things: abandoned buildings,